conversation might cause controversy, disagree to disagree, or deal without being rude by any during conversations. Please have respect for another's opinion. Disclaimer: it's weird to sit in front of the camera and talk, so excuse me for not making eye contact. I'm also trying to make sure I see my eyes on screen because of the glare, so majority of the time I'm not directly looking at the camera. And I'm also checking myself out because
My good people, welcome back to another episode of Uncomfortable Conversation, where things can get controversial, but without the rudeness, the bias, or ignorance. This is an agree to disagree type of conversation. If you can't get with that, you can definitely exit left, right, however you want to exit. But you can't be in here if you gonna be ignorant, biased, or rude. We have respect for everyone's opinion here. And for those who don't know, I am none other than the Jewel. And let's get into the video. Talking about emotional intelligence. If you haven't seen it, go check out the last video. This will be episode 2 to season 2 of Uncomfortable Conversation, which I'm bringing back the yellow wall. Yellow is mellow, which is also my favorite color. So we keep things pretty mellow here. So like I said, we'll be touching on the topic of emotional intelligence as I did in the last video. But in this video, I'm going to go a little more in depth on what emotional intelligence is. Emotional intelligence is pretty much, in simpler terms, the ability to manage and understand your emotions and also understanding the emotions of others. Hear me out. It is not to manage another person's emotions. It is not to manage another person's feelings, actions, or nothing like that. It is to understand why that person did, or act the way that they do. Emotional intelligence is also it is also on managing your emotions. So emotional intelligence for me would be managing my emotions, understanding my emotions first, and then managing them. And then also understanding the emotions of others and why that person acts or do the way that they do. Now, if we want to be a little more complex with it, psychology is having a debate on whether emotional intelligence is a type of intelligence, okay? It has been conceptualized in many ways, such as skills, traits, and behavior that has developed over time. That's the complex term. Like I said, I gave y'all the simpler term. Managing and understanding your own emotions while understanding the emotions of others. Now, I'm pretty sure you're probably like, Jewel, I still don't understand. What is emotional intelligence? Do you mean I don't have intelligence? Are my emotions all over the place? No, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? There are 5 key points within emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, self-motivation, empathy, and also social skills. With emotional intelligence, there comes a high level of self-control in emotional and situational skills that start with yourself first, okay? Like I said, with emotional intelligence, there is a high level of self-control within situational problems, areas, but everything starts with you first. And I say that because if you don't know yourself first, how the hell are you going to learn anybody else? How the hell are you going to tell someone else how to act, how to be, how to do? Okay, it starts with you first. And I think what people miss is that, or I don't really think people see it, but within today's society, we live within such a codependent type of society where people want to receive acceptance from others, okay? They want to merge their identity with the other person's identity without being on themselves. No, okay? Emotional intelligence starts with you, okay? It is pretty much maintaining your own identity within this codependent society. And I say that because within particular skill sets, you have to learn how to control how you control and act, because back to the codependent society. Once you merge your identity with that person, or which I don't think you should, but once you merge your identity with that person, you're not learning to be social. You're not learning to be yourself. You're learning to be one with that person. No, emotional intelligence is managing your own identity, okay? Nothing further, nothing less. And controlling yourself, self-control within certain situations, and how to act around certain people, how you act, how you feel with certain people, okay? So for example, and I'm starting to smile because people that know me, like when I say know me, they really know me. I'm not much of a talker. I don't like to talk that much. You know, if I'm around my friends or family, I'll giggle, laugh, hee hee ha ha. I may say a few words, but for the most part, I'm just there floating around, okay? I'm here to fill up space. And that's just because that's my lane. I like to be there and enjoy the good time, enjoy the vibes when needed, okay? But I'm also more of an observer. I'm a thinker. So when I am engaging with people, I give them, I'm sorry, I just hit my camera. So when I'm engaging with people, I give them what is needed in that moment. Like I just said, I know how to laugh. I know how to have fun. I know how to engage with people within that area or moment when needed. I also talk about that in my last podcast as well. But basically, I'm understanding those because I'm not much of a talker and I'm more of an observer and thinker, but and giving myself to those people in that moment whenever it's needed. I'm pretty much understanding those who are communicating non-verbally, pretty much like within body language, tone of voice, eye movement, facial expressions. Are you still with me? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And I don't think people realize that. A lot of people don't communicate verbally. I'm more of a non-verbal communicator, which means you'll know what I'm saying to you, or you'll know how I'm feeling pretty much by how I'm looking at you. Like if I'm looking at you a certain way, you're going to already know like either whether to leave me alone or if I'm in a good mood, bad mood. But I'll also tell you like, you know, I'm just really not in the mood today. Like, and I know how to communicate that within just a few simple words. The first key point within emotional intelligence is self-awareness. Okay? God darn it, I keep hitting my camera. So self-awareness is pretty much recognizing your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. All right? And I'm not talking about no regular self-awareness that we see on social media to where you go home and you tell yourself, oh, I'm a nice person, I'm a good person. Yes, you are a good person. You are that bitch. You are that guy. You are that person. Yes. But when I'm talking about self-awareness, when it comes to emotional intelligence, I'm talking about self-awareness where you are honest about your own bullshit, okay? Yes, bullshit. I said it. Real honest, real genuine self-awareness is when you're talking about you're getting to the nitty-gritty of your own bullshit. Okay, you're honest about where you messed up at. You're honest about what you don't like much about yourself. You're honest about things that you're uncomfortable with, things that you're still sensitive about. You know what I mean? And so much of who we try to be and show up as in the world, sometimes it can come off a little half-assed, you know what I mean? And it is just some type of amalgamation of all the good pieces about yourself that, you know, that only we approve of. But then you wonder why, like I said before, you're half-assing it. You wonder why you're only getting half back from the world. You know what I mean? And that's only because you're showing up as half yourself. You're not giving yourself your full awareness, your full potential within that emotional intelligence of awareness. You're only giving yourself half. So if you only carry the good and don't acknowledge the bad, then you fake and you lying. You get what I'm saying? And like, don't get me wrong, yes, put your best foot forward, whether that be your left or your right foot, whichever foot you consider to be the best, but don't forget that you have another foot to put there. Okay, you definitely have another foot to put out there. You go home and you just like, today wasn't really a good day, I could have did this a little better, this, that, and the third. You wake up the next morning, you just like, okay, I'm gonna put my best foot forward. But when you put your best foot forward, like I said, don't forget you have another foot. So what I've learned to tell myself is, I'm gonna just put my all into it. Whatever, whether that be my wrist, my elbow, I might a few people along the way, just so I can self-awareness, so I can know like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is boom, I'm gonna come better this day. You know what I mean? So pretty much be honest with yourself, especially when no one is looking. Because I think, like I said, within a codependent society that we live in, a lot of people just do it for acceptance of others. No. Motivate yourself to be more aware of yourself, aware of your own identity. Where your identity within your whole presence. You get what I'm saying? You don't need no validation from no one else. The only validation you need is the Most High and yours, okay? And if you don't know who the Most High is, you need to get right, okay? But while you're also being self-aware of yourself, don't be too hard on yourself, Show some type of grace. Show some type of love, but also give honesty and don't hold back on the bullshit. Don't hold back, okay? Because when you hold back on the BS about yourself and you're only giving half-ass to the world and you're wondering why you're only getting half-ass back, then you can't really trip on nothing. When you're showing your full self and putting all of yourself within the world, you're not going to get anything half-ass back. The world has no other choice but to meet you where you at, and that's only because you gave your all. You get what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I cracked myself up. T. The second part of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. Self-regulation pretty much allows you to choose how you respond when faced with strong emotions of others. So pretty much how you express yourself, and then it also matters how you express those emotions, okay? Oh, just to go back with about self-awareness. When it comes to myself, I feel like I'm so honest with myself, especially when it comes to my BS, because to be honest, I know I'm a BSer. Forget it. I know I'm a bullshitter. So I come straight out and tell people, like, when I can tell when someone is BSing me. So I straight up tell them, like, bro, you can't bullshit a bullshitter. It's not gonna happen. Because I'm gonna find everything funny and you're gonna be the only one upset because you didn't got bullshitted. See what I'm saying? But I with self-awareness, I definitely always recognize myself first in every situation. Even if I feel like I'm not the problem, I always recognize myself first within every situation, okay? And I don't put my feelings onto others. I don't do that. I don't like to do that. One, because I'm already, whatever emotion I'm feeling in that moment is already high. It's already like crazy, shaking. So, and I don't know what that person's feeling. So I don't want to mix two different type of emotions or either the same emotion with each other and then it all just become chaos. I don't like that. So, but with self-regulation, I definitely choose how I express my feelings to people. I don't like if I'm upset, I don't like to make other people upset, because then the aura in the space is bad and just very negative. I don't like that. But yeah, with self-regulation, I don't like to put my emotions or how I'm feeling on other people, or express my emotions in a bad way, especially to those that have done nothing to me. I don't like to do that, and I try my best not to do it, and I don't like to repeat myself. So if I tell someone once, like, hey, give me a few minutes, whenever I come home, or or if I'm already not having a bad day and I'm out, give me a few minutes, I'm gonna get right with you. But if you can't remember or respect the fact that I just told you, like, and this is my thing when it comes to people too, social skills. You can't read the room. You can't read that I'm not in a good mood. Even if I don't tell you I'm not in a good mood, you're still in my space. Like, just being, just, I'm not in a good mood, so I'm not going to be able to meet your energy where your energy is at. You know what I mean? So, just please give me a few minutes. Like, and sometimes I really don't mean to come off rude to some people, but sometimes I'm either way too tired and I try to be a little cheery, but I'm like, hey, look, leave me alone. So most people respect it, others just don't. I don't think they get it. But when it comes to self-regulation, definitely learn how to express your strong emotions without hurting the other person. The next one, the third key point within emotional intelligence is self-motivation. Now, self-motivation, I'm pretty sure you guys can already tell what self-motivation is, but for those who don't know, it's pretty much your own personal drive and improvement within yourself, okay? It comes with personal time management. When I say personal time management, people do not like to sit with themselves. People don't know how to sit with themselves because it brings too much darkness. It brings too much energy. It brings too much of what you've been trying to block off for so long. No, if you don't know how to have personal time management with yourself, and I'm not talking about, I'm going to go out, take myself out to eat today. I'm going to go get my nails done. I'm going to go shoot some hoop with the boys. No, I'm talking about sitting with yourself, sitting in your room, the bathroom, if you like to sit in the bathroom, sit in the kitchen, just sit there and just think to yourself, like, okay, what's this, self-motivation is pretty much like not making let me say this, and clearly, self-motivation is you not making unreasonable demands on yourself. If you know that you can't do a certain thing, or you know that you have tried to do something and it just didn't work out, and you kind of know it's not going to work out, but you're still trying to be like, I could do it. No, like, don't put that much pressure on yourself, okay? Don't burn yourself out. And learn how to be assertive rather than just saying yes and yes, like being the yes man to others. You know what I mean? And when I say assertive, I always think about that one SpongeBob episode when Plankton and SpongeBob are on the beach, and and Plankton tells him, no, SpongeBob, be assertive, not insertive. Those who are my SpongeBob fans, y'all know what I'm talking about. But be assertive and aggressive with how you motivate yourself, not making unreasonable demands for yourself. Personal time for yourself. You know what I mean? Just being able to be like, all right, okay? You know what I mean? Just being more of yourself, okay? With like I said, being assertive, keeping up with assertiveness. I mean, keep up with your principles, okay? Especially when it comes to engaging with people. You know, in general, I mean that in general, but I also mean in dating too. Like I said, I'm gonna keep going back to the codependent society, and not just with individuals, but I'm gonna say people that consider themselves couples, boyfriend and girlfriends, whatever you want to call it nowadays. But people, keep your principles, assert your principles closely within self-motivation when you're engaging with other people in general, and when you decide to date people, okay? These principles, they definitely stop people from playing in your face. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about. These principles stop people from playing in your face. You know, like I said, we are a human race, and as a human race, we can misinterpret our own feelings, and then we can also judge wrong. So not playing around about your own principles and rules, and then you're also keeping others from not playing around with your principles and rules. You feel me? You know, whether it be platonic, business, romantic, while there is still respect, you know, we still cool. Don't get me wrong. It's respect. We got respect and we cool. But there is a no tolerance policy from A through Z. None. And I'm sticking to it. There is no tolerance policy from A through Z. You feel me? Okay? Like, be honest with your needs, you know? And not just because, you know, when I say be honest with your needs, I don't mean just because, when I say be honest with your needs, I mean know what you want, know what you don't want. And if you don't know what you want, trust, if you know what you don't like, and then people ask you, well, what do you like? And then you say, I don't know. You know what you like. You just don't know how to put it into words, okay? So don't let a person be like, oh, well, if you don't like this, how do you know that you like this? No, you know what you like. You just don't know how to put what you like into words. So that's how people like to, I'm going to say it like Mr. Brown, manipulative people, and get in your head and start using you and just telling stuff because they want to tell you what you like. You know what you like. You just don't know how to put it into words. Because I feel like if a person, because I used to tell people all the time, I know what I don't like. But me telling you what I like is hard, because I feel like once I tell a person what I like, then they'll start to imitate what I like. Like, no, be yourself. Please. Be yourself. Okay? You know, be selfish with your boundaries. Be, you know, you're not being mean or stuck up. No. Stick to your boundaries, okay? Be assertive, not insertive, okay? And then with self-motivation comes real peace in knowing you don't have to deal with certain things. Because I'll tell somebody in a quickness, no, I don't want to do that. Or better yet, like I said, because I'm really proud of this. Like, I consider myself to be, you know, to be the strongest bullshitter. But I would tell someone straight up, no. Or I'd be like, if you want me to do this, that's fine, because I already don't want to do it. But if you want me to do it and you keep asking me about it, or I could feel that you really need someone to do this, cool. But what's in it for me? And, you know, I'm real easy to, you know, food, money, food would definitely get you in. But however, you know, forget all that. I'm real quick to tell someone no. Like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't have to deal with it. And if they ask you why you don't want to do it, because I don't want to. And that is a legitimate answer, because I don't want to, I don't have to, and you're not going to make me. What? No. Not going to happen. My secret is I do what works for me, okay? I don't compare, I don't compete, I don't copy. I really don't give a, you know what I mean? Okay? And I stay in my own lane. I be in my own world, not worrying about nobody. Half of the stuff that people tell me, I'll be like, oh, wow, really? Like, I didn't know. And I just start bugging out laughing, because I'm like, dang, like, where have I been? And I'll literally be right there when this stuff go down. So, I think I did touch on self-regulation. Go back to self-regulation. Yes, it is hard most times to, how do I say this? Yes, it is hard to sometimes to control how you respond to other people's strong emotions. Like I said, if someone is screaming in your face or cussing all in your ear and da 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 in your personal space, then I get it. Handle your business. But it's a no for me, and I do my best to stay calm in every situation. So that's self-regulation. And then not the last one, but the second to last is empathy. And I consider myself to be a real empath, you know. But for those who don't know what sympathy. For those who don't know what empathy is the awareness within an individual and in a group of needs and feelings. So pretty much, just say you walk in a room of people, or I wouldn't say a full room, just say it's you and two other people in the room, and you can instantly like feel what they need in that moment or what they're feeling, you know, being able to see things from another person's point of view. And I think that a lot of people, they definitely don't understand that. They feel like, oh, well, I have empathy because I definitely been through what this person been through. No, baby, that's sympathy. That's sympathy. You've been through what that person been through. That's sympathy. Empathy is not just say, a big giant, you seen people with those big wooden dinner tables. Just say one of those broke and it fell on your foot, and you be like, oh my goodness, it's like, you know, what do you need in this moment? I'm here for you if you need me, you know. Or you can feel that person's pain. You will look at that person's foot and be like, dang, I know that hurt. That's empathy. Sympathy is like, dang, bro, 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, 6 months ago, I had that same situation happen, but it wasn't with a kitchen table. It was with like a wine glass, and I had glass all through my foot. I had to wear a cast for 6 months. You know, that's sympathy. It's the difference, okay?
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man. I wasn't thinking about it.
Like I said, with me, I feel like I'm a really big empath, and within the past few months, I realized how deep it runs. You know, it's a blessing and a curse. It really is. With empathy, with me, like, I'm not much of a touchy-feely person. I wouldn't consider myself a hugger either. But, like, if a person is crying, and I don't have a clue what the person's crying about, but if the person's crying, I'll be like, oh, baby, come here. First of all, you need a hug, because obviously everybody standing around you not giving you one, but you definitely need a hug. Second, it's like, I know you're not okay, but hey, it's gonna be okay, okay? So that's that on empathy. The last key point within emotional intelligence is social skills. And ranging with social skill, it ranges from leadership to influencing and persuading to and managing and learning to manage conflict, okay? Like I said, this goes with reading the room, which most people don't know how to do, okay? So, social skills, it pretty much covers a variety of skills, but it's also rooted with self-esteem and personal confidence, okay? Being easy with social skills, it's being easy to, you're that person that's easy to talk to, a good listener, being caring and trustworthy, and making you more not only charismatic but also very attractive when it comes to other people. And I feel like I can read a room well. I personally feel like my social skills are fine, but compared to others and what my mom says, my mom just be like, "Oh, Princess, you're not a friendly person." No, I am a very cordial person. Friendly? You're absolutely right. I'm not about to be up in people's face chit-chatting all the time. Most of the time, I don't have, like I said, I'm not a talker. So most of the time, I don't really have nothing to talk about. If I see you got on something that I like, I'll give you a compliment. If I see that you're attractive, I might say that you're handsome. Or if you're another female and I see that you're cute, oh, you're very pretty. I know how to give and take when due. But me just being a social person, walking in a room, like, no. Let's keep it leveled, okay? Calm and chill. Like I said, I stay in my own lane, so I just do what I do. I can't control other people, all right? But I will say that people have told me, they be like, you're very easy to talk to, or, oh, you're so calm. And majority of the time, I do feel like people just tell me a lot of stuff, and sometimes I don't be interested. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't be interested. But I don't mind, like I said, engaging with people when needed. I don't mind being that listener for that person. I don't mind talking to that person if they need someone to talk to, or whatever that person needs in that moment. I don't mind. But with social skills, if I can read a room and I could tell there's some hostility, like this one situation, these two dudes were talking. One dude was talking, the other dude wasn't. The other dude came. I didn't see him. Like, I couldn't see his face. I didn't even know. I knew where he was because I remembered the layout of where he was. But when I tell you, I could feel his presence come from around that corner. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, but it de-escalated quickly, so it really wasn't a problem. But just that comes with social skills, being able to read. Like, I can only see one person's actions within that altercation or the situation, I'll say. I can only see one person's reaction, but being able to feel that other person's presence, and he did exactly what I felt him do, come from around. All that anger and rage came from around that corner. Man, crazy. But that's pretty much what it is. So those are the 5 key points: self-regulation, self-awareness, self-motivation, empathy, and social skills. When it comes to, because I think I spoke on emotional intelligence when it comes to the world and being part of society and dating someone, or being romantic with someone, or platonically, or business, however you choose to interact with that person. Into the thick of it we go with emotional intelligence. Okay, if you ask for the people that have emotional intelligence, or have a little, because everybody isn't going to grasp emotional intelligence quickly. Everybody learns differently. Everybody understands differently. Everybody comprehends differently. So some people might have a higher level of emotional intelligence, and then you got some people with like a minimum, and then you have some people down here with it. It just depends on the person, where they're at in life, what they're doing, if they want to do that, But when I've heard people before, oh, I need a person to have this type of characteristic, or I need this person to be more emotional, or I need this person to be more self-aware, or da-da-da-da-da, whatever the case may be. But when you're asking for all of this, or if you're asking for an emotional intelligent person, please be advised that with this person comes someone who is tolerant and who knows how to regulate their emotions, all right? When asking for an emotional intelligent person, you are asking for someone who is tolerant, someone who knows how to regulate their emotions, okay? Someone who knows how to not only manage and understand their emotions, but understand your emotions as well. And what people need to keep in mind, keep up here in the Chrome Dome, all right? That with an emotional intelligent person, they know how to navigate through their own sensitivities, and then everything else that comes along with that. Now, considering the fact that that emotionally intelligent person is good at cutting people off left, right, up, down, diagonal, okay? When they see that your sensitivities from them learning how to understand, and I'm gonna say this too, just a little bit knowing how to manage a room or manage your emotions without taking control over your emotions. When they see that your sensitivities are not matching up with their sensitivities, or if your sensitivities is bringing too much reactivity to them, you can just go ahead and go, bro. You can just go ahead and just exit, because they're not going to tolerate it. They're not, and most people don't. So if you, as a, I'll say, not so understanding or not so self-aware of yourself, or to a point within your emotions that you don't understand what's going on with their sensitivities and even your sensitivities, you know, if you can't regulate your emotions, you know, it's low tolerance, you know. It's low tolerance. If you have a low tolerance of emotional intelligence, you will be walked out the door within a heartbeat. We're dealing with anybody. And if you feel, and if understanding or where that person's sensitivities are at, or your sensitivities are bringing too much reactivity, my peace is being disturbed at any given time, any given where, you know, and it's pretty much seen on a level of disrespect, which most people don't understand. When people be like, oh, how am I insulting you? Bro, that's disrespectful. So you will be walked out in a heartbeat, all right? And don't get me wrong, yes, you might be aware of your own sensitivities when it comes to certain things, but when engaging with a highly emotional intelligent person or a highly intellectual person, you know, that just might not always be accepted, you know. And then sometimes with that emotional intelligent person, I'll say this, sometimes with an emotional intelligent person, they're not going to always accept that, you know, accept what you like, even though you're being like, oh, like, even though you might be being honest with yourself in this moment and you're being honest with them about yourself in that moment, I want y'all to understand that that person can bounce back and be like, I don't agree with your opinion. I don't like those thoughts and how you speak to me. And if you are not ready for that emotional intelligent person, then don't ask for the emotional intelligent person. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna repeat that for those people in the back. For those people in the back. I'm gonna repeat that. if you're asking for an emotional intelligent person or someone that understands your emotions, because you got to reverse the question like that, because some people don't understand the first one. If you're asking for an emotional intelligent person or asking for someone to understand your emotions, be aware that whatever you're saying, because like I said, don't nobody have to deal with you. They don't have to do nothing that they don't want to do or tolerate anything. You know? They can always, after you get done expressing yourself, they can always bounce back and say, I don't like that. I don't agree with your opinion. I don't like how you speak to me. And they'll walk you right out that door. So if you're not ready for that, then don't ask for that intellectual person, okay?
Let me escort you out, sweetheart.
The downside of emotional intelligence is when a person is easily tugging at your heartstrings or motivating you to act against your own best interests. You know, pretty much manipulating people, all right? Manipulating people. It's pretty much the excess of empathy leading to feeling things a little too personal, which is why I said empathy is a blessing and a curse. It's feeling things a little too personal. You know, it's okay to have empathy for others, but do not codepend yourself within that person, okay? And then with that, it comes with the downside to it as well is you become reluctant to that. You become reluctant to play the bad guy, that you shy away from certain negative behaviors of making decisions. You know what I mean? And then there's finally a question of balance. While emotional intelligence might be helpful or might be helpful within moderation, but it also can be harmful when dealing with other people. There is being with someone or around someone with little to none at all when it comes to emotional intelligence. They're highly opinionated, you know, insensitive. They're blaming others, low motivation, unpredictable problems. Like they always in something going on, narcissistic behavior, or tendencies, however you want to put it. But those are pretty much the downfalls to emotional intelligence. And all in all, with emotional intelligence, it's a good skill to inquire, okay? Like do I personally feel like I have a high EQ? I say EQ. EI? That sounds so weird. That's very weird. Do I personally think I have a high level of emotional intelligence? No. I feel like I'm more in between, okay? I'm a medium. I feel like I'm in between, high and low, you know? Do I have a low level? No, I don't. Not at all. Okay? But I will say those 5 key points when it comes to emotional intelligence, it's a working process. But you have to not be afraid to have those type of uncomfortable conversations, not only with yourself, but with others, okay? You know, learn how to have conversations when it comes to about your non-negotiables and boundaries, all while showing respect to not only yourself, but that person as well, you know? And I am more than confident that I am okay with not agreeing with another person. All right? The downfall when it comes to emotional intelligence as well is, the downfall when it comes to emotional intelligence as well is you're always fighting that you're right, or you're not listening to other people's opinions. You're prone to learning from others. You're prone from learning from your mistakes and moving on from those mistakes. You know what I mean? You're unable to distinguish appropriate and inappropriate behavior. You become defensive if anyone brings up inappropriate behavior, or you're unlikely to interpret the emotional atmosphere. That's the downfall of emotional intelligence. You're pretty much self-explaining all the time. Like I stopped it. I'm not about to sit here and explain to you not too many times what it is, what it was, what it's not going to be. I'm going to explain to you maybe 2 times. The first time is because I said it straightforward. The second time is because the look on your face, you might not get it. So let me break it down even more. But I really don't want to say it twice. I barely want to say it 1 time. So with that being said, you know, I'm not explaining myself. But sometimes people with emotional intelligence, the downfall to it, they have a hard time coping with emotional situations. They avoid them at all costs. So if they can't handle it, they just won't do it at all. And most likely they'll also carry the burden of whatever the other person did or what you did or what I did myself. Easily triggered. And that's something I've learned too. I'm learning not to be easily triggered. I'm learning not to respond negatively to things or struggle too out of control of what my own level of emotional intelligence. And I say it like that because like I don't want to struggle with controlling myself. And I feel like when I say I'm in the medium of having a high level of emotional intelligence and a low level, I'm more so pretty much staying in my lane and doing whatever I need it to be for me. So with that being said, don't be afraid to have uncomfortable conversations, not only with others, but with yourself. Okay, be honest, be true. Don't be rude, biased, or ignorant. You know, and just have the conversation, okay? And it's okay to be uncomfortable because that's where the peace begins, and that's where also the love forms. And for those who know, and for those who don't know, once again, I am none other than the Jewel. Oh, and yes, my hoodie says vagina. I know it's backwards on the camera. It might not be, but yes, my hoodie says vagina in it.